Hello and welcome to the highly requested Inksense data pack.
It took a long time, but it sure is well worth the wait. So let's get on with it then.
To start, Inksense has one ability tool with 6 different abilities, namely his ink brush. He's also got 2 other abilities in his hotbar which we'll go over soon, but first. Inksense is a more of a defensive archetype. He isn't really much of a quick runner or attacker, but he can punish his opponents if they get too close. He has also got the abilities needed to fight with distance between his opponents if things get too heated up front. To craft him you will need 1 skeleton skull, 32 red dye, 32 blue dye, 32 lime dye and 32 yellow dye.
Now with that we move on to the abilities, and I'll let Luke take the first one and then I'll take the next one.
The ink wall is quite a simple ability, spawning a shield of blocks in relative position from where you're looking at. It does not last all too long. With this ability you can for example block up tighter corridors, and the shield can even act as a projectile protection against arrows, for example. Now over to Sonic, who explains the Snare ability.
Pressing Q with Inksands' brush will let you change modes. Inksands' next ability, Ensnare, is a pink colored attack that will trap your enemies. You can right click to throw a splash. Hitting enemies with left click will also affect them. Once the ink threshold is reached, the enemy is effectively trapped. It may take multiple uses to take effect. After the enemy is trapped, you can either leave them or attack them further.
Arguably one of the most useful abilities is the portal ability. To use it you first need to designate an exit point, which is a point where you or others end up when you trigger its ability. You can teleport yourself or someone else. This is very useful for zoning and getting out of a dangerous situation, and can even be used to surprise your opponents.
Okay, so this attack is pretty basic. Inksands throws a blob of yellow ink that homes in towards nearby enemies. The move deals moderate damage and can come in very handy, especially
Rejuvenation Ink 2 is a simple ability. You can give yourself a quick heal or use the splash version of it to heal other entities.
Inksands can also throw blue colored ink, which bounces and deals blast damage. The blast damage is useful for dealing with grouped enemies. Also off split, the bounce effect looks sick. Like, this is really amazing. Like, wow.
The ink dash. On use, you'll be engulfed in ink and given a heal boost. After a short time, you'll dash forward in whatever direction you're looking in. Dashing through an entity will cause them to take damage. This ability can be used as a substitute for the Rejuvenation Ink due to its healing properties, and is handy if you want to leap across large gaps. Just make sure you time it right.
And finally, Inksands has his Ink Blaster. It's a deep purple blaster, and unlike the other Gastro Blasters we've made, it actually pushes enemies backward along with the damage it deals. Ink's blaster helps with crowd control and damage dealing in one move. In addition, it also automatically targets the nearest enemy, so you don't have to aim it yourself.
Okay, that was everything for the Inksense data pack. Thank you for watching. Also, huge thanks to Awkward Face over here for building this wonderful Snowden map, and thanks to Mr. Sonic here who joined in on publishing and presenting this video with me. That's all. See ya.